Hello, all my merrymakers. I am Becca, and welcome to. We're just going to call it my weekly roundup. Usually, this goes up on Thursdays, and I call it All the Things Thursdays. But I was surprised by my dad and my brother, and they took me to a last minute comedian thing. I don't know if any of you know the comedian Brian Regan. I think he's hilarious without being vulgar and using a lot of swear words, which is kind of rare for some comedians these days. So, had a lot of fun, but I got home super late for me. One of the things about now being older is, well, heck, I've always been this way. It gets to be about 9 o'clock and I turn into a pumpkin. So, finally got my butt together and went to record. Not a whole lot to show this week. I've been kind of helter-skelter with the crafting. And I still haven't gotten my stuff together enough to get all my yarn together. Maybe, hopefully soon, I'll do that too. Anyway, we are going to start off with this cowl, which is just 4 knitted mitered squares that have been whip stitched together at the end. I am not a big fan of provisionals cast-ons. I prefer to just whip stitch it together. It looks basically the same. This yarn is actually new to me yarn. I've never used it before. It is Lion Brand's Scarfy Light. It is 43% acrylic, 41% polyester, 9% nylon, and 7% wool. It is very soft. However, it is very fuzzy. Very fuzzy. After working with it, I can definitively say that when it comes to frogging that, it is right up there with Red Heart Unforgettable or Lion Brand Landscapes. That stuff does not want to frog. It tangles on itself and fierce. Which is why I haven't made much else with it. I really would like to make a whole set, because apparently I like to challenge myself and torment myself. But cowl, hat, gloves. I think I'm going to make the gloves next, because I think that's going to be the easy part. I tried making the hat, but when I first started, it looked really small to me. So I'm going to have to do some math, which is always the fun part of knitting and crocheting, isn't it? And that's going to be based off of this for gauge. So I'm actually really happy that I did this first, so that I could have gauge and have a better idea of what I need to do for the hat. Other things, I finally got Lumiere's arms on. I know that doesn't sound like much, but copper wire is very bendy, so sticking it through the middle part was actually very hard. I went to Hobby Lobby and found this cute little rose in a, I don't know what you call that, but it reminded me of the rose from Beauty and the Beast, so I paired it with him. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if it's going to stay on Lumiere or what I'm going to do with it, but right now he's wearing it like a necklace. And it actually kind of works. I have started working on his, well, I thought I had it right here. Oh, yep, there it is. On one of his hands. I haven't gotten very far. Again, I don't know. I'm having trouble working on him. I think it's because it's there's no date right now, and I want to do other things. Shock, shock. So the sea glass I actually got from Hobby Lobby. I went. Sam from Mamfa Makes was talking about the yearly Hobby Lobby clearance, and I gotta admit, I didn't know until she had mentioned it. And the Scarfy light is usually priced at $8. Let me see. Yeah, $8.50, and it was on clearance for $4.24. So literally half price. That's what made me buy it. Like, I've always wanted to try it, but it's always been too expensive for me. So I bought some. I do like the colors, because y'all know that I am a fan of rainbows. I don't know if I would use it again past this current project set, so just because it does not frog well. When I went to try to match this, it is Premier Yarns. It is from their Deborah Norville collection, Serenity Baby. And the color is called Tea Roses. It's been discontinued, of course. There was only one yarn in Hobby Lobby that was even close to matching it, and it was this is a 4-weight, whereas that one was a 5-weight. So it was a little, and it was like even the regular, they were having that sale that they have every so often where all the yarn is 30% off. And I remember that with the 30% off, it was $5 for 75 yards of bulky weight acrylic, which way too expensive for me. I'm actually thinking it might match that new yarn that's at Joann's, the Rave yarn. There's one that is a hot pink and a purple, so I'm hoping I can head out to Joann's somewhat soon, because I really want to make a blanket out of this, and I only have 3 of them, which is not quite enough to make a blanket yet. But if I get 2 of the Raves to complement it, it'll be just big enough to, I'll have just enough yarn, because that's a 4-weight too. But it was suggested to me to also put out a shout out and say, hey, if any of you have this yarn in this color and are willing to part with it, please send me an email and we'll figure out something. I greatly appreciate it. I know shipping is expensive these days, so I'd pay probably about $5 per skein plus shipping, depending on how many skeins you had. And then last thing I've been working on is actually an old project. This is a pattern called Briar Rose. The designer's name, or pen name if you will, is Hooked on Sunshine. The yarn is ice cream yarn in the color Ube. My fairy godmother from Patricia from Yarny Cat Crochet clued me in on how to pronounce it, because apparently it's something in Japan where her son is going to be. But this pattern is, I think it's a paid food pattern on Ravelry. And basically they have 17 rows, and then you repeat rows 7 through 17 as much as you want. So this is actually another oh my gosh, she's got yarn. Boggy Creek blanket. Thank you. My brain is the coffee has not been drinking out of yet, so and the now 5-year-old woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little bit out of it. But I'm hoping I can get it to the size that I need it, which I think is 40, because it's a square. But it's going to be nice and pretty, and I hope, and it gives me an idea of what I might want to do for a later project, because, you know, there's a running list that's like 3 miles long. That is all I have been working on this week. Changing up the game plan just a little bit, because I realized that the best way for me to crochet during the day is to print out the pattern if I'm working from a pattern, because sometimes the phone gets stolen. These are the facts of life. So I'm going to print out the remaining stuff that I need from Lumiere, work on him this week. I already have the stuff that I need to print it out for the Briar Rose blanket, so I'm going to be working on that this week. Thank you guys again for joining me for the weekly roundup, which I don't know if Erin from Crafting Kitty has trademarked, but I'm going to fully admit took that from her. But if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below. If you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. If you really like my videos, please share them out. And in the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.